Good morning, gardening friends. Today is Sunday, November 30th. Tomorrow begins Advent, and here I am in the front porch. It's in the 50s outside, I think 54 when last I looked. And I have the first bloom of the season for my amaryllis bulbs. I had bought, I'll give you a close-up a little bit later. I bought a couple of these, and they were called apple blossom. And I was a little taken aback because that's not what I always considered to be apple blossom. And I had to look it up. I have a book on bulbs. It's called Bulbs for All Seasons by Pierre Gingras. It's written in 2021. And when I looked it up, indeed, there it is, apple blossom. And there's Red Lion. That's the one that I always get. And what I have been getting in past that I thought was apple blossom turned out to be Orion. So I was expecting Orion, but got the plain whitish one, but that's okay. It looks nice. And of course the book talks about breeding of the species, of the different varieties from the wild species. I have Papillon in the backyard. I'll show you when we get on the deck. That usually blooms once a year. It only has one flower, but it is one of the native species that all the other bulbs were derived from or hybridized. And I found something here. It talks about a warm bath. I had never heard this before, but it says basically, let's see, we'll start here. Bulbs purchased in the fall have already undergone a cold treatment before being put on sale. Normally, they will quickly start growing. Depending on the particular cultivar, the flowering period may come as early as a few weeks after planting and before the appearance of linear leaves, which grow to 24 inches long. Should the bulbs take too long to germinate, here's the interesting part, they can be soaked for 2 or 3 hours in 104-degree Fahrenheit water in order to break up the enzymes that control the flowering mechanism. The stalk will then sprout from the tip of the bulb's nose in days immediately following this procedure. So there you have it. I never heard of that before, a heat treatment, because I do keep my bulbs in a little refrigerator just to stop them from blooming on their own. But let's take a close-up of apple blossom. This will be the plant of the week. I don't normally keep it on top of this chair, but it is a pretty blush pink color. It normally lives down there, but you wouldn't be able to see it in the camera. And while we're there, my Thanksgiving cactus is in bloom. Got a couple of buds here, a couple of flowers. It is a mix. I told you before this, if you look at these leaves, they have points on them. And that's the differentiation between Christmas and Thanksgiving cactus. This is the typical Christmas cactus. That's the Thanksgiving. I think that's what it is. And just to confuse things more, this is an Easter cactus here, or orchid cactus. It has slightly longer leaves. But yeah, everything here looks good. For those of you that are followers of this channel, you will see that I got rid of the bird's nest fern. It just took up too much space of my front porch. It's kind of in readiness for, let me pick up this. I got some stuff on the floor that doesn't need to be there. I don't want to trip over it. But I'm trying to decide where to put my Christmas tree/trees. And to be truthful, I kind of like the look of all the greenery here in the front porch, because I have put the tree here and I have put the tree there. In past years, I may just settle for one slightly bigger tree in the living room and just deck it all out using all the ornaments that I have. We shall see. Maybe I'll start it by next week. But in any event, I rehomed the bird's nest fern. Gave it to a friend that inspired me to grow the bird's nest fern. His only grew about 2 foot, and mine grew about 4 foot. There's the second of the amaryllis for this year. That again is a apple blossom. But yeah, here all is well. I have not yet taken the poinsettia back into the garage. It looks like it's starting to get a little coloration. It might make it in time for Christmas. There's a little red blush on some of the leaves. Normally it blooms later than that. And I did have to give up and stake the paper whites. I don't see but about 2 or 3 little buds inside yet. Paper whites may be a wash this year. And my Phalaenopsis, I think I may have killed it or else time got it, but we shall see. There's still a couple of buds at the tip. Thanksgiving did it in. I was cooking up a storm for 3 days prior to Thanksgiving, and one of the tasks I was doing was washing dishes right and left. And then I decided to go ahead and water my plants, because that was a task that needed doing. So I bring these orchids into the kitchen, into the sink, and I run water through them. But usually I use my tap that has treated water. I have a drinking water tap as well as the city water tap. But I couldn't get at the drinking water tap because, or I should say filtered water, because I had a pile of dishes on the sink. So I used tap water. And then I remembered after I got the first squirt on that orchid that I had just been washing dishes and the water was still hot. So yikes. I doused it with hot water, then quickly put as much cold water on it as I could. But now that could have, because the flowers all drooped like a day later, been the case for this, or it may have just been its time. So we shall see. But it still has a couple of buds that haven't fallen off on the tip. So we shall see. So don't water your orchids with hot water. Let's take a quick walk through here. Spathiphyllum is still in bloom. African violet has pretty much lost all of its flowers. This Phalaenopsis is still doing well. That one will probably go out to the Garconniere, but not today. I did do some more work out there. I do have a cuckoo clock. I don't think I ever showed that to you all before. Oh! In this closet in the den, I have my TV, but I have a little refrigerator in which I keep drinks handy. But in the bottom, in the crisper, is where I keep my bulbs. So I refrigerate my bulbs. The plastic bags have 2 more Red Lion, and the paper bag has 6 paper whites left in it. When I do that and store that in the fridge, you don't have to refrigerate those particular bulbs. I do it only to stop them from blooming, because of course I've got bulbs already in pots that are growing. So if it gets too much heat, they'll start to bloom or start to sprout, and I don't want that. So yes, up in here, Thanksgiving has come and gone. The kitchen is back to normal. Well, I was going to show you this flower, but unfortunately it is spent now. However, I got 2 more to go. These cactus live here all the time, and they seem to like it. I don't do anything special to get them to bloom. It's a north-facing window, and they seem to do fine. Let's go into the backyard. Oh, I still have my reading glasses on. Let me don't get rid of those. Oh, the kittens are back. Little kittens. Let me turn on the fountains. I haven't gotten back here but to feed the cats. That usually freaks the cats out. They're always interested in what's making that noise. I had a trick years ago at some Christmas lights. I had a remote control that I put in. And I decided, let me hook my fountains up to that remote control so I have a push button in the kitchen so I don't have to physically plug them in. Out here, all is doing fine. For some reason, this one cyclamen seems to be wilting. The other three are still fine. Pitcher plant, Nepenthes, is doing fine. It's dry. I need to fill the pitchers. We haven't had any rain to speak of. We had about 1/4 of an inch last week. We have more rain coming Monday and maybe tonight. Oh, here are the species amaryllis, the Papillos. They're the wild amaryllis, if you will. Well, these are actually, now they breed them, but it's the original from the wild. Well, I shouldn't say they cultivate them. They don't breed them because that's their natural state. But they don't pick wild amaryllis anymore. And those will probably bloom. Usually one does every year. They don't like to be repotted. They do like to be fertilized every now and then, but they don't like to be repotted. Back here, all is well. There is Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut is the lovable cat, wondering what's going on. Here you can see the recovery of my angel's trumpets. The frost that got them a couple of weeks ago has set them back, but they're sprouting again. We're due for a Tuesday morning, I saw, where it might get freezing here again. They're predicting 33, so we should be okay. Hopefully this flower will bloom. I'll take a picture of it when it does. This is my golden chalice vine. It's related to angel's trumpets and daturas. It has a white trumpet, usually larger than that, but you get what you get. So I have 2 of them. The roofers knocked one of the other buds off. But they will open, it's a white trumpet, and they have a frilly edge, and they smell of coconut. It's a really sweet, intense coconut flavor. The bananas back here have not recovered all that well, but they are still green. What is really put out this week is this camellia hedge or archway. It is really, really looking good. I've been waiting to trim this particular branch that sticks way out, but I wanted it to bloom first. And the flowers are coming. Every one is unique. Coloration varies on each one. I particularly like that one. That's a pretty color. And I still have my Sasanqua. Yuletide is in bloom. This one's fixing to bloom, but not yet. It's a little bit later. No current activity on the bougainvillea, but it's nice and green. My herb garden is really looking sad because the frost we had a couple of weeks ago definitely got the daylilies. So you just see the herbs now. Let's take a quick look in here. In the Garconniere, first thing you can see is I finally cleared out the closet this week. Started to, at least. And I found the dehumidifier. The one problem with this room is 25, 30 years ago when I enclosed the garage, it had a dirt floor. And I had it sprayed for termites first, and then put cement on top of that, and then put the tile. But I forgot at the time, I was a chemical engineer, not a civil one, and forgot about putting a vapor barrier down. So these tiles can wick dampness up. So you have to have things, there are only certain things that'll stay out here. You kind of want a break between the tile and whatever furniture or books or whatever. I did get a wooden tray I put under there and started stacking my books. But I found the dehumidifier, so it goes. It actually gives a little bit of heat to the room. I found my candlestick. I like to have years ago, in a land far, far away, when this used to be the room I would go to when I had guests. I would give them the house and I would come out here and spend the nights. And I remember feeling uncomfortable having grown up in New York State. You always think about the worst things, and it's like, I'm cooped up in a room with no other exit. What if someone tries to break in? So I used to keep a baseball bat in the room. Well, it's kind of silly. However, now I have a cast iron, and trust me, it's heavy. A cast iron candlestand. So it looks good and it can be useful as well. I started reorganizing these shelves. I did not do this shelf. I'm working my way up. The top two have not been reorganized yet. But I wound up getting a new clock, a little mantle clock. I had one old one that died, and I reorganized the shelving. I got a new little globe too. But this is all stuff that I have had. I had tried in the past with books, and at least when I used to go away for the summers, this room would be shut down. There would be no air conditioning running, and things would get mildew in a skinny minute. So now in the summertime, I can keep the air conditioner on, and it keeps the humidity low inside the room. But in the wintertime, I have to run the dehumidifier. But I love my new clock. The other thing I got this week was, I don't really need it. Let me put the light on in there. I did at least clean some of the stuff out of the closet. I've decided I'm going to reorganize the closet. That needs to be taken down and, well, needs to be painted and some spackling to be done. But I have decided after 30 years, I put this shelf here with a clothes rack thinking that I don't have a lot of storage in the house. I could put my winter clothes here in the summer and summer clothes here in the winter. But nobody wants, mildew smelling clothing, which of course, now that I'm here full time, I'll probably keep the AC going. But I don't need this rack here. And the storage units in the back are perfect, but it's for stuff that's like long-term storage. So what I'm planning on doing is losing this rack here and then putting a wooden pole in front of all of those shelves. And that way I still have some hanging area. But this will open this whole area up for maybe a little chest of drawers or a little semicircular table. I did need a piece of storage for stuff, and you can't use cardboard out here, so I found an Anheuser-Busch box. When I was going to college, these were quite popular. So it's a wooden box. The added bit on this one, which I kind of liked, was if you flip the top over, it has checkers. So I've got this for storage. It's not going to live in that particular spot. It's probably going to go here somewhere. Just don't know where it's going to go just yet. So in any event, I got that at an antique shop, as I am an antique. Also reorganized some of the plants. Got a few more here added. Here you can see the difference. This amaryllis was not refrigerated. These two were, and they're from the same batch of amaryllis that was delivered to Lowe's. So refrigerating them does stunt them. They'll still bloom. It just sets them back. Also bought a new African violet. I like to refresh them every now and then. And I brought in my clivia. I did go ahead and put gravel on top of the pots because these will probably live in here for the rest of the winter. Oh, I see Desert Rose has got a flower bud on it. It bloomed outside, so it'll probably bloom in here. So yes, the Garconniere is coming together. I've got 2 oriental rugs that are being cleaned that are going to go down on the floor. I used to track a lot of mud in this room, but now with this new rug I purchased, it should keep the dirt off of the oriental rugs. So yes, what else did I want to say back here? That's about it really in here. I do like my new computer and working out here. I was able to download and do and upload as well my videos. So this will be my little office space from now on. Those of you that watched me early last week will notice that the picture on the front of the video changed. The reason was I learned how to download a video on my new computer. Not a video, to download a picture. I hadn't downloaded any on it yet. So since I downloaded, I went ahead and changed the picture on the video. It's the same video, it just had the picture changed. Let's do a walk. We'll start in the back because we have to figure out how to get to the front yard. My ligularia is in bloom. Not spectacular, but for this time of the year, I'll take it. It's also called tractor seat, the tractor seat plant. Phoenix canariensis is looking great. This guy is, oh, there's Felix. Felix is not Fluffy. Fluffy is his brother. This is the Serenoan repons, and it does not form stalks or trunks. That's what the books say. I'll have to tell it to this one. Oh, the story of the kumquats. I did not make my kumquat jelly this week for Thanksgiving. I had made last year, I had an abundance of apples that I bought. So I made apple cranberry jelly. And apparently it was liked so much that I had requests for apple cranberry instead of kumquat cranberry. So I made apple cranberry sauce instead. It does kind of remind me of the Swanson TV dinners, those of you that grew up with those, because they always had an apple cranberry sauce put in them. This angel's trumpet hadn't received much frost damage, so it's other than the very tips. So it's doing well. I need to water because the leaves are drying up on my forsythia. Bottle brush tree that I just replanted, or bottle brush bush, is still doing well. All of that fungus last week that I showed you has dropped away to nothing. Back in here, everything looks about the same. I will get in there and start cleaning out, but not this week. This was a cooking week. And there you can see all of the angel trumpet growth. Yes, everything. And here is the walnut. Not walnut, the pecan. Seems hard to believe that I believe it was, what, 3 years ago? It was a nut in the ground. Planted by a squirrel. And now I have a tree. That is my encore azaleas. Oh, geez. Peanut has got himself a piece of my palm tree. Oh, it fell. Well, that fell since we were walking. It wasn't there before. Peanut has definitely found his chew toy for the day. You get that, Peanut. Oh, there's Fluffy. Oh, I got to shut the pumps off. I see the water's gone from there. The pump does have a safety feature, but it's been dry. What you doing there, Peanut? Yeah, let's go around to the front. Actually, let's go through the house because I do need to shut that pump off so it doesn't get burned out. Sorry if I'm rambling, but if I don't do it now, I'll forget about it. Go ahead and shut the pump off. That does that. Miss Mimi, are you in the sun? Yeah? Miss Mimi is not feeling real well. She has nail issues, which I will take her to the vet which she will absolutely, positively hate. Her nails need trimming, but she has old lady cat nails, so I can't do it myself. The vet will have to do it, and she absolutely hates that. Last time she went to the vet for that, she made such a fuss that she even had big dogs in the front waiting room whimpering because they took her from me into the back room. Maybe they'll anesthetize her this time. But here in the front yard, all is looking well. I will be losing the pumpkins next trash day. I still have my lettuces. Pretty much everything here is still growing nicely. We'll see if the frost will knock anything back. No flower buds yet on these daffodils. I don't remember what they are. I still have some tomatoes. A few berries are left. Yes, tomatoes are a berry. I still have, of course, flowers. This has been going for at least a month now. Here's a pretty one. This is my white dove sasanqua. Let's see if that other one is still... Oh yeah, this one still has flowers too. Don't want to miss it. It is, of course, the time of the year for me. I've planted this as a winter garden. So this is the time of the year when the plants shine. This is the most this has bloomed in a while. I'm trying to look for a fresh blossom, but they're not all that fresh. That's a nice one. I don't see any buds on the paper whites, but when they appear, you'll be the second to know. I will be the first. It's a shame about this particular cycad. It's got a whole tuft of new growth at the top, but it's so late in the season that it probably won't be toughened off in time for the frosts. So it'll set it back some. Back in here, all is looking fine. These bananas look better because they weren't hit as badly by the frost, just the very top leaves that were above the ground, above the roof. Back in here, my dill is doing fine. And my onions. I do harvest the onions. I make a Westlake beef soup, a Chinese soup. And it calls for fresh green onions. So I come out here and I just cut the tops off. I think I've cut it back twice so far and it still keeps coming. Back in here, the opuntia looks sad, but it's still green. I don't know if I'm going to have the patience to wait until the spring. I may start dealing with it sooner than that, but not until after Christmas. There you can see the bananas a little better. The poor, poor fig has been knocked back. However, it looks like it's still trying to produce some fruit. They may ripen. It looks like the one way up there is ripe, but I can't get at it. Oh, I see the flowers have finally fallen off the cassia. That happened this last week. It's normal. Back in here, all is well. I see everything is dry. I haven't really watered anything this last week. Oh, I see a new camellia. It's a small flower, not fully opened. This is my double white. Well, it's not much to see yet because it's not fully open, but it's the white equivalent to the red Professor Sargent. Has a bunch of flowers. Bunch of buds on it, so I will have plenty of flowers. See if there are any. Nope, just that's the first one. Back in here, I don't see any activity yet. I do see a bunch of flower buds, but no new activity. They're going to bloom later. Gosh, everything is so dry. I probably will need to water today. I got carried away with Thanksgiving and really didn't do much gardening. My irises are still in the ground. No animals have dug them up, which is good. I'm going to see if I can get some, what do you call them? Pansies for this area. Pansies seem to do well in that spot. But there you have it for today. The ramblings of an old man taking you through his garden. I wonder if I unlock the front door. Save me walking all the way around to the back. But yes, I hope you all have a good week. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And the Christmas season starts tomorrow. So until next week, I'll leave you with a picture of the potager. Take care.